with inflation, the fact is things become more expensive as time goes on, or your dollar has less buying power. And really what I always go back to when I was a kid was like, I got my license, I had a Honda Civic, and it used to cost me $13 to fill up my gas tank. And as time started going on, it started getting more expensive. It was 20, 25. I think now it costs $40 to fill up the same gas tank. So how that plays out from like a dollar range, if you look at the last 30 years, how inflation has impacted the dollar is, if you had $100,000 in 1990, you would need a little over $200,000 in 2020 to buy the same amount of stuff. So who does that make the greatest impact on? One, if you're living off a fixed income. So if you have a portfolio, let's say it's paying you $5,000 a month to cover your expenses, as time goes on, expenses are going to start outweighing the income coming in. So you're going to be challenged by inflation there. Two, for the saver who's like scared to invest because of the fear of losing their money, and I get it, money's hard to make, so there is a concern there, but what's going to happen is if your money's sitting in a savings account making 1% and inflation is typically growing at 2%, you're losing 1% on your money while it's sitting there. And as you get to retirement, even though you're a diligent saver, you're going to have a lot of challenge trying to live off that money once you step into retirement. So I think this is a good way to talk about real estate, because I think one of the greatest hedge against inflation is real estate. And this is really why. As inflation increases, cost of living does as well. So rents go up. So in apartment buildings specifically, as inflation rises, rents go up, which impact our revenue. We start making more revenue. And because our expenses in real estate, our greatest expense really is our debt is fixed. So revenue goes up, debt gets paid down, and now we have an investment that is a great hedge against inflation, because inflation works really well for our investment. So if you're a saver, I would really consider the power of investing so that you're not so good at saving that it's hurting you. And if you are getting to the point of having or living off a fixed income, keep inflation in mind. That could really jam up your plans.